Yeah, it's gone. We are live. Find a link. That one. Mute. So we get feedback. Right, then copy. We put it into the Teams, get it, and then we're ready to go. I can't believe that book. That looks excellent. Very quiet, Andy. Nothing to say.
Just waiting for you to set the office up there, mate.
Deep
do your administrative chores and do what you're doing.
Can't wait to get a real live office.
I wouldn't want to put you off in any way, shape or form. You only need to type the wrong word because I'm talking to you. It happened before, hasn't it?
No, never. I would never. Who's made claim like that? You tell me. If I made claim of that, no way. We can walk and talk. We're all right. Indigos can do that, you know. We're not perfect, but we can multitask. Yeah, we're all right. Shall we say? Yeah, let's just tell everybody we're live, and I'll tell you how many's in on the tube, who's in, what they're saying. What's them guys sorted?
Midweek meeting.
Wednesday, the 16th of May. Yeah, we were supposed to go at 8. Sorry, we're a bit late. It happens. We have Chilster Deluxe, Mr. Offensive, Sticky Toker, and Albert Matthews have dropped in.
Bonjour. Thank you very much.
Good evening.
May we?
May we be the two idiots that provide your entertainment for this evening.
In a semi-controlled manner.
I'm just going to quickly look at some updates and that and see what's happening, if there's anything.
Smoking my fog machine. Smoking with the screen out.
The fog.
Yeah, but nice if Brother Steve comes in and has a chat with us this evening, wouldn't it? It was great the last time I had an hangout. It's better than just typing to one another and answering questions on the text, ain't it?
Yeah, we'll see if we can arrange something to a constructive chat. I've asked, let me think, Karen from Sun and Moon, Richard and Karen. I've asked them if they could arrange some interaction, maybe other speakers, Santos, Steve, me, a couple of others that I'm just trying to think of now that we could get in. Michael Bernicia, that would be good. So. Yeah, well, it takes time to get everybody when they've got the free time all at the same time. That's the issue that we all have. It's everyone's willing. It's just meeting up at the alleged time, given time that we have. So we'll get there, brother.
It's what we endeavour to do.
Is this in Hangouts as well? Mr. Offensive has said, yeah, this is just on apps, on your app, on your Hangout app. If you're friends with either myself or Andy with the username on the app, then in Hangouts it should show up that we're online. And then on FaceTube, crumbs, on the U-Box, YouTube,
it's on Facebay.
It's just getting old, aren't we? It's like, wow, what's happening? Yeah, on here, this platform, U-Box. Why we always talk like that? We can get round it. We're clever now. We're like foxes. You'll just get a notification saying it's live, and then what we do is use the Create a Studio on the YouTube option. So if you have got a channel, you can go Create a Studio, and then you go through your options on the left, and when it's got your bits and bobs, live streaming, certain bits, you just select new event, make an event, and then set it all up, invite via Gmail, email, and then once we're all in the panel, we choose when to go live, and then just press go, and then it puts it on the YouTube of Indiglo automatically. But you will need about a half-hour crash course to set it up. But once you've done, it's all right. Yeah, it's all good.
Communicado.
So if you send an email to ukfreedomprojects@gmail.com, I'll collect that, and then I can add your Gmail into the chat, and then we have a chat. We'll arrange it for next time, or bring you on in a future chat. We'll organise it, and if you've got an area what you want to chat about, or an area what you've got experience in, like this one is about birth certificates, ownership, trusts, equity, admiralty, things like that, maritime, these kind of subsidiary laws, hidden, laws and areas that involve ships and things that are by assumption and presumption in the public. So we'll talk about that today. We are going to go to Liverpool this Saturday on the 19th. Spoke to the manager and arranged for the venue, one of the levels of it. It's quite a big place, Andy, to be fair. So we've got a gallery, and in the gallery, 150 capacity. We've got everything that we need. I said a couple of tables, lots of chairs, up to 100. So yeah, we estimated about 50, but about 100 or something, would be excellent. It's good,
over the moon.
Yeah. So I've spoke to her. We've confirmed that. She just says if I need anything else, let her know. There isn't any parking immediately there, so we do need to look into parking and see where we can get where we're not on the street, but we'll get the coordinators to look at that. So we've got a 3-hour drive there. I'll be up about 5 a.m. leave 5:30, come get to you for about 6:15 maybe. Then it's a possible 3-hour drive. It might be quite quick on a Saturday morning at that time. Up to 3 hours and 176 miles, about 40 something to you, so about 200 mile there, 200 miles back, and about 7 hours driving, 400 miles, 7 hours, and then the presentation. What?
And the get together, yes.
Which we haven't planned yet. We haven't got the presentation core body there, but as we do on these chats, and we like to use it so we don't lose it, so we just chat and bring it as Andy does off the cuff, and we keep it in our, it's there then, so we don't need books and
it's current
certain things. Yeah.
Keep concurrent with the current flow.
Keep concurrent with the current flow. I'm not checking the screen for it changing camera. I presume it is. I ain't changed anything.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
I'm just checking. There it is.
Hand device. Okay.
I fixed it. Right, comments. Got to Mr. Offensive. So we got Shadow. I would love to get Santos Bonacci in here. What absolute genius. Yes, Shadow. We don't know everything, but we know guys that do. So when we all watch each other and learn from each other, then we all share what we know. Between 5 of us, each knowing something, if all 5 of us share it, then we all know what each other knows. And that's just, that's how it works, isn't it? But up until late, it's been kept and offered for hundreds or thousands of pounds, or you had to fly abroad to go to America to meet a special speaker and then come all the way back and take what they'd given you and convert that from penal, American, international, Commonwealth, whatever, non-Commonwealth codes and acts and international things back into Anglo UK statute and all that, and our offices. So there is a big turn that's happened recently, with the information and the side of it where we've come into it. And as you said, we didn't plan on this. We deal with wheels and bricks and mortar and wills and estates and notices and the doctrine of notices and things that are really non-biological. So it has taken us by storm, and we are prepared to work with others. As Steve McRae, this will be news to YouTube, but myself and Andy was on last night on Facebook Live in the trust there in Sovereign Paralegals Trust on Facebook, and Steve popped up. And what did he say, Andy? Over to you, brother.
He said that he said that he'd be coming to the seminar with us on Saturday to help give knowledge and wealth and information for all that is good intent. So hopefully he'll be there to to show what he knows and spread the wealth and love, hopefully. So, yeah, and what he doesn't know isn't really worth knowing, is it? Is, as it says in the title, you know, expert in all legal matters. So, what a wealth of knowledge to have on side. Boom, Shanker.
Yes, wisdom. Court procedures we are quite wet behind the ears with, because myself and Andy haven't been, you know, in custodial issues or arrested a lot, or in the wrong, I know, side of the law, so to speak. So we can't proclaim to know what all the procedures are with regards to the courts and the magistrates and the judiciaries and the district judges and certain things, you know, high courts as well. I have had a little bit in a high court, but that was, you know, 2007, yeah. And I haven't been since, except with a beneficiary to Oxford, and that was only a magistrate's, and that was a lower de facto, you know, just joke, to be fair, but we played the game and we got a good result, the one that he wanted. So yeah, this is where we need others to come along and explain, no matter what the interpretation is. Like, you know, somebody might say this, somebody might say this on two different groups or channels. We need to find guys that know what the print says and follow that, you know, stick to the middle, like what we do with the sub.
Yeah,
Yeah, never mind.
I've just had a thing flash across the top of my screen there, Dave. Can I jump? I quickly said, can I jump in? I think you've had a request to join. I don't want to break your flow or anything,
no,
but
let's do it. Can I jump in? Yeah, man, you can jump in. Yes, brother. It's the one with the shadow dynamic. So have you send me in here then? So, all right, if you're on the hangout and you're my mate then and our friend, you can just press video and then it should let you in, and I'll let's just see if you can get in. Let's see. I'll see if it gives me a message, or I'll invite you with an email, Shadow. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's good, that, but let's see what happens. I need an email, so you'll have to send me the email in this message on the not. You're on an app as well, so what he's done. You've seen. Can I jump in? Have you, Andy? Yeah.
Yeah, he said a
On
couple
our
of
app.
other names, and I've just caught at the end quickly because I was listening to you, and I just at the end, can I jump in, or along those
Yeah,
lines? I
that's
think some.
because previously we had it says I unknown, yeah, person, and some of the girl's name thingy blue. Unknown, yeah. So that's the history from before, so that's all right though. We can deal with that. Yeah, I can click on and give Shadow an invite, but he'll have to give us he'll have to give us his email in this app. Let me just text him and it's done.
I don't know why we've lost the camera view now. It's just your profile picture.
Yeah, 1 minute. It's because I've gone off my Android a minute.
Oh, okay.
It'll come back when I go back into the chat. I'm just messaging to say, can I pick up the Gmail?
Okay. Let's have a drink as well.
I'll just get his email, then I can invite him. So it works. Look, famous last words. And I'll be back. He's typing it now, I think. 1 minute, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, this is live entertainment right here. You won't get this on Who Wants to Be a Sovereign. I've got it. 1 second. We're off.
Oh, there's no auto cue here, mate. It's just completely organic and natural, off the cuff, mate.
Can we get some interlude? We need some music, don't we? Some sovereign. What were you listening to the other day that I said was something that wasn't? You were singing on the last video chat. There we go. We need this.
Yeah, a bit of Romeo and Juliet and Telegraph Road, and then the comments come on, money for nothing.
You were nearly there.
Bit of band music like that.
I think we got him. Yeah. Oh. Here we go. Magic. Let me come back.
There's something flashing on the screen there, so.
Here we go. Got to rejoin. Shadow's in.
Hello, everybody.
Was that £2? Hello. Good evening.
Yeah.
All right, pal.
Yeah. I'm fine, mate. You can't wait for Saturday. Oh, that should be good.
Let me get back. Let me get back to where we are. I can't see. There we go.
No, we're quite excited for Saturday too.
Yeah.
Are you local?
So
Are you coming?
Yeah, I'm definitely coming, David. I always like. Sometimes I get names mixed up, but that's me.
Andy, he'll get on all right here, then, won't he? He's already that's a prerequisite of being in with us, John.
Yeah, it bloody is. So don't get offended if I call you Shaggy. I call everybody Shaggy. All right, Shaggy.
Yeah, yeah, Scuba Steve.
Yeah, job done. That's it.
What is it? Can I ask, Shadow? What is it that you're interested in, or what's your area of have you got any experience? Is there anything that you're looking to obtain information wise, or anything instrument wise?
I'm still cognizing the bills of exchange, it's like that ground of it, but like you look at section 42, endorsers and recourse.
Mm-hmm.
That bit, so like say if you go into a shop or a bank, because that's under section 1 in it, and they dishonour it, they lose the right to recourse, don't they? Could be wrong here.
I'm not going to give any citations and advice out about the 1882 bills of exchange and its complexities, but if you don't need to be so acute. You're kind of overcomplicating the situation. What I would say is, if you're looking at using the bills of exchange and you're looking at endorsing or action and effecting some kind of payment or tendering payment or offsetting and discharging, so whichever it is and whichever method you're going to use, there is concise direction in there on what to do and how to do it, but ultimately you would look at what you are doing in what status capacity and to whom, and then you would look at if they're likely to accept that. If you wouldn't look at the bills of exchange so immediately. You need to know why you're using it, how you're using it, what are you using. Are you using a promissory note? Are you endorsing, accepting for value? Are you doing some, which it depends what you're using to and what part section you'd look at. But I always word search and have the documents up, and if I need to be specific, look at them and just refresh myself. But essentially you'd just be looking at, we teach that through, well, no, we don't teach that. When we've been learning, we've been taught that through the private trust we've had on Facebook, and then through the introduction of Richard Ansar's work and the guy from Justinian Deception channel, Romley Stewart. So then you've got the other speakers on YouTube, which are great to watch, but you're doing the right thing, which is getting the documents and the site, the articles, the bills, the acts, and looking at them. So when you get a bill, that's because you've had an order, isn't it? So you remember about orders and bills and the way that it works. And we would look at what kind of method. You see, the bills of exchange govern the endorsement payments, effected payments, or payments that need to be tendered legally, offering or effecting payment, whether that be discharge, credits, fiat, currency, promissory notes, negotiable instruments, discharge, and all that is contained in there. So you've got your public side, and then you've got your private side. I'm getting there. So the bills of exchange is governing, all of the commerce and certain things on the public side. It's not a private bill, is it? It's out in the public. So it's for what? It's for the public governance of infrastructure and finance. Then you have a private side, which nobody knows about, which is what we're kind of talking about. So if you're on that angle, you're talking about public. You see how we work it now? Just by you mentioning the bills of exchange, you see how you can be articulate and look at what you're doing and why and with what and in what capacity. So I already know you're in the public and what you're looking at doing, but I'm not a big know-it-all. It's just how you would articulate and look at and reference why and to what you're doing. So I don't know what you're doing. I know it would probably be a negotiable instrument in the public to try and discharge a claim made upon a legal person for payments that need to be, levied, charged, paid, accepted, discharged, all of it, as we've said. So we have the private side, we have the public side, remember. So you have, if your name was John Smith, you would be John, the creditor, and the Smith would be the debtor. and you would be, holding that title deed certificate, and we'll be looking at different kind of effect and payment. So where we're at the minute is a crossroads of public and private payment methods that have been using negotiable instruments, and like the last 10 years, especially 5-10 years, we've had a lot of new information come out, and some of the old information has been shown to be quite old and mixed up and not quite up to date, and we've kind of accelerated a little bit where we was in the past to where we are now, and I appreciate it is quite confusing, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's why Andy's here to help make it simple, isn't it, Andy?
Simple as popping a pimple.
I am that simple. I like to have a simple, easy life.
Man's a poet.
Yeah.
He is, Andy is a poet.
That's how it goes, brother. It's all natural and within. If you've got it within, you'll never be without.
I just need.
I nearly come out then.
I'm still looking to get the books first. Steve put a book about common law obligations and how that works. That covers amity law and all that case, and trust and equity covers that.
There's many books to cover all the subjects, all the jurisdictions, all the laws. So it's best to try and stick to the correct jurisdiction in the correct capacity in the correct given circumstance, and it narrows down so many rabbit holes that you have to look down.
Like I typed in there, get in the private and get benefiting, because whoever's in the private always benefits. Get
in the private and set the law.
Yep.
How long have you been studying or researching or interested in this, Shadow, if you don't mind me asking?
Since I started off, it's last year, it was there was a terrorist attack, and I just had this burst of bubble since then, and I just see things are completely different. I wouldn't even know what this was 2 years ago. I'd be thinking, you're mad, but now it's actually truth. But it's actually truth, man. It's
of course it's truth. We're all mad. We've all got a madness, mate.
On the street, they just look at you and laugh and
Well, we've all got our own madness. It just depends on what level.
Yeah.
You do, yeah. There's a
madness. They're still indoctrinated, aren't they?
See, with me, I'm like Alice. I'm like Alice tumbling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You've got to go and have a look, because you won't know. You'd have to go on someone else's hearsay, and then you then yourself are acting on assumption and presumption because you haven't been able to look yourself. So each to their own. It's how you apply yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got any friends or? Sorry, Andy, I thought you'd finished. Yeah. Carry on.
Carry on, son. Like I say, you only get out that which you put in,
This is it, yeah. And you get. So have you mentioned it to any friends and family? And have you been found that you've been alienated or laughed at? And is that what you're saying, Shadow?
Yeah. I've trying to bring people into it and you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, oh no, but it's there to learn. It's been. We all say if we don't do something, the George Orwell agenda will just unfold.
The Orwell agenda. It's unfolding around us.
Yep.
It's learning how to speak of it. Yeah, it's learning not to drop bombs and plant seeds. As much as
that's what they're doing on us.
Yes, as much as we wish to drop bombs and get everyone to wake up instantly, it literally blows them to pieces, and they think you're around the rack, like you've just said. So
that Sanchez Spinaci, you told me to watch him, and he's really good, man. He just tells it how it is. We
didn't tell you to watch him. We recommended that he might be beneficial for you. We never tell, but yeah.
Not, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He has a certain belief system, and it resonates with others. We all have a certain belief system. We all have our own beliefs, and we all have our own truths. It's just that some of us resonate with others.
If you look at how religious books are written, they're all written in that manner. It's theology. You got superstition. it actually makes sense.
They're all written
Yeah.
by the hand of man.
Religion. Yeah, there is. We used to be attacked, and we used to have wars, and we used to have battles and invasions and inquisitions and doomsday books and all of these things that have gone off. But now we don't. We have death by 1,000 paper cuts, and that's how they kill you here. They kill you very, very slowly, just a little nick at a time. Very crafty.
Who's flicking a lighter? Someone's flicking a lighter.
No, I'm
or
flicking
a
the pen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I do it.
You got a nervous fidget.
My thoughts.
So you get like a system that's invisible, and it has agents in every type of angle and every type of area of your life, whether it be housing, finance, education,
Health.
just everything that you interact with has got an agent to it, an aspect to it, just about. And these agents are there to operate like in blind faith of this system that they believe is lawful. But what we're showing them is that it's not lawful. None of them are legally trained. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they are or what they are. When we mention public capacity or liability or things like that, they soon change the tune and pass you on to somebody else, and then they suddenly lose all the alleged authority that they seem to have. When Big Barry comes knocking at the door because you haven't opened your mail and the pre-action protocols have come into effect, and now the public person and his surety is required for the debt, and they're looking on the assumptions and presumptions. Nobody knows how they're doing it, or why these doors are getting battered in, or why these children or property, offspring and blood is being taken and put into mandatory fostered adoption. There's a two-tier system what we have here, what we've uncovered, Shadow, and everyone else. It's that me and Andy are finding out that we was in this to help protect property and rights and possessions and money and assets and things like that in trust. And now we're finding out there's guys that are saying that the property, namely the children and their offspring, are being taken and put into adoption because their family got into trouble financially because stuff got repossessed that was allegedly because there was debt. But about the bills of exchange and intrinsic value then, Shadow, and the money and the monetary mechanics and, all of that side of it. So there is no debt. And we are the Christian name creditor, surname debtor, title deed holder, settler, as king. We have been tricked into thinking that we are nothing and nobody, and that the world is a horrible, oppressive place, and we have no part in it. And all we can do is just hope to have a job and get by and die without getting AIDS or cancer, and we'll have had a great life. But that's not us. There's far more to it.
Absolutely
we are the masters and creators. And man created government, and government works for me. And I don't claim to be a person or a citizen. That's their shit, and they can keep that, and they can manage that. But we're teaching you how to not be that. And if anyone claims that you are that, you'd ask for proof of it. And if they've got proof, you'd break that and rescind it and change the agreement or correct the relationship, and you'd be going off with your proofs and your evidences. So we need you guys to get confident and to know who you are, and what your rights are, and what your capacity is, and what your name is for, your certificate of birth and your birth certificate, the two different dates, the first name, the given name, or your Christian name, and then the attachment of the surname, the family name, and the capitalization, and all of this stuff needs to be this is what me and Andy need to do.
And the jurisdictions of law that they both in. That's the parallel system that you're speaking of there, Dave, ain't it?
Everything's running on the ecclesiastical, really. So if you walk into court, they'll just,
well, you say you walk into court. A lot of the courts you walk into aren't a court; they're just an administrative hearing.
Yeah,
they might tell you that it's a court and there's a case being dealt with there, but you're just being fined and forfeited. And
business.
It's a business centre, literally. So much of what you speak of, I don't think is, widely known. Is it, mate?
Yeah. Not yet, no. But say if you was going to do an ecclesiastical depot, you'd have to go through different courts.
Why would you? What do you mean? Are you on about? Go on, Annie. Could you explain that, or what?
It's like, for what Steve said, if you serve under the CQV, it says on the first bit you serve an affidavit to prove you're alive and stuff.
So you found in the CQV, a bit of text that says you should perform an affidavit statement of truth or claim a right or something. What did you say?
Yeah.
Go on and expand on that. That's really good. Carry on. That's amazing. I know this, but I'm just saying it's good to hear it coming from research from other
No,
ways.
but
You've watched
like
these
it's like
videos and
you got to try and collapse your trust, otherwise they'll just keep it for you. Yeah, they'll just do
go,
it
Andy.
for you.
So yeah. So like what Andy and I was talking about reference events at Older Hay and certain other things. We was going to look at forming trusts and putting trust within a trust and expressing trust. So you just said collapse a trust. So you said, I've asked you how long you've been researching. You said about a year. And I'm not trying to trick you, but you've got for a year, you've got further along than I did in a year. So that tells us that the avenues that you can learn from and where you can go and the quality that you're getting is absolutely amazing. Because for you to come out and say that you've read on the CQV a little bit of text that says you've got to perform a X, Y, and Z. Let's make people. No, I'm not going to repeat it. Let's make them remember and look. And then you've said you found out from watching one of Steve's videos, and you're on here having a chat with Andy and Dave. Then this is just like music to my shell, like. So I'm telling you now.
Yeah. Well, it says it there in the SQV Act 1666, and if you watch it, Santos Spinaci, it even says the SQV stands for 666.
It's out there. It's all there. Yeah. And what is 1.66? It's something to do with the measurement of the body as well. So you've got the year 1666. But if you look at the ratio, because I love my numbers and I don't lie, I love numbers. And there's a bit of the 1. It's something to do with, like, you see how you've got one arm. You have one arm, and in this one arm there is a section there, 1. There's a section there, 2, and there's a section here, 3. So you've got 3 to 1 ratio on that. Then you've got like one finger, and it's got that bit there, and that bit there. So on my little finger, there's a ratio of 1, 2, 3. So there's a 3 to 1, and it's all that. The 1666 ties in with stuff, and I'm like, what? This was finely planned, wasn't it? This was not by chance. Yeah.
It's absolutely mad. It's just everything's connected. It's like if you ever want to get out of this EU, we all have to like.
Whoa, EU. Well, that's wrong video. He's on the wrong video, Andy. Tell him EU. Not Brexit up. Let's talk about keys.
I didn't realise I was in it to get out. Have I been opted in then, but unbeknowingly?
No, you.
Oh.
Have you not heard of the Excited Unicorn Gang?
You're in the Excited Unicorn Gang. Clause, yeah.
EU. It's called Excited Unicorns, and you're in it. I've seen a picture. Remember, he knows what I'm on about. Someone made a picture. Right, anyway. Shadow, what was I going to say? What's the key for that you get at 21 then? Talk to us about that. The key. You get at 21, you get a card with a key on it, yeah? Do you know what that's for? You know what?
I don't know. I've read your post about it. I don't. It's like.
Yeah.
It's mad that.
So 21 is a year. Your year, anons that you allegedly have in law where you are at a certain age. So it's not just the age of 21. It's like we've called it before. There's an age of maturity. When you are mature and you are of legal age to accept full public liability and be punished for it and serve fines, fees and forfeitures. So to make sure when you're 18 that you know what legal and lawful legal is, and that if you do anything you're going to be paying for it, breaking common law and obviously full public statutory, get caught with a bag of herbs on you and you might end up having to answer for it, kind of thing. So that's if you understand the public law. And the 21 part is when we use America. So we're in 18, you might be able to drive a car, but you can't have a drink. Or you might be able to have a handgun, but you can't buy alcohol or have sex, certain things. So they have 2 different parameters in America for drinking, driving, firearms and sex. And when you get to certain ages, you're permitted in law legally to do that. So in England, it's 21 and you're at the age of maturity, which means in England, pretty much you get the key. I think it's all around the world. I don't know. I'd have to check on that because I've not looked into it. And then that key is to be used for something, but nobody tells you what it's for. But we know it's not for a door, and it's probably for the quasi trust.
Well, you see the keys on the Vatican where they show Nimrod and all that, and like. So if you look at their coat of arms, you see keys on it, and you see the Jesuit flag.
It's all symbols and numbers. Very symbolic, and it's all numerated. That's how they operate.
And in codes and deceptive, non-direct ways. It's never direct, and it's in codes. So that 21 and that key means you can now access your trust, but you don't know how to access your trust. The CQV, the foreign situs, the quasi. There's different trusts running all along parallel, and different
There's 4 or 5
Vatican
of them, but
ones,
I
government
think
ones.
3 of them are hidden, aren't they?
Well, we're not going to get into all of that. We need Steve here for that, to be fair, and we'll talk in broad terms. Like, we're not here to expose the whole remedy of everything and give you all the answers, because we don't have them, and I can't be held accountable for what I'm saying right now, because it's an informal chat. It's just a hangout. But you would, at 21, be able to access your trust and become, at the age of majority, with that key, the settlor, executor, all of that business. But none of us knew how to do it. So, because you're born into a lie, you don't see the lie until you learn the truth. And that truth is what you're telling us, that other people think that you're mad or a little bit weird when you tell them what you see, but you're seeing the truth and now seeing the lie as well, whereas others just only see the lie.
Because we've all been through the same system of indoctrination. Only some will wake up when they leave that system and have a proper education if they give it themselves. Many that are home educated excel, others within the academic realm because they're only taught a certain curriculum in a certain narrative, whereas a self-educated.
There's a lot of cognitive dissonance that goes into this as well. A lot of it.
That's what it is at school. Is that they train a certain cognitive train whereby you shall not think anything other, and that's why they repeat the whole curriculum all year. It's just repetitive nonsense, and then they've got the cheek to do a mock exam on you. They mock you with an exam.
No.
Whoa.
I blame sovereign citizens for that cognitive dissonance. I blame sovereign citizens. There you go. That's oxymorons. You see, we have these things given to us like a criminal offence. Well, it's even an offence, and you've offended someone, or it's a crime. You don't have a criminal offence. You can't have a sovereign citizen committing a criminal offence. That's just terrible. If that ever gets publicised, I will laugh long. But we have got programming, and it is in us, and it's in us, long time and deep. They've done a very good job on it, and it comes
TV programming.
Repetition, just repetition of it all. So what Andy and I have realised is if we chat enough and repeat enough, it actually sinks in, and we get quite like, all right, just ballparking a bit of legal versus lawful and, different things like we're doing now. So it's by repetition. So where we've realised they've programmed us and done a wrong to us because we should have known what they was doing, but we couldn't when Sega and the Nintendo and the Game Boy and all of these things came out, and the apps and the Bluetooth and the wireless and the Xbox and the PlayStation, and we fell for it. I did, hook, line and sinker. I went DJing, went round the world. And now I've thought, if I can remember all these games and years and names and cheats and codes and records and CDs and mixes, and you know what I mean? It's like when you have a hobby, you have an articulate mind and you are doing stuff because you are interested in something and you want to pass time on and develop and grow, and you've got an interest. So we've put all the rubbish stuff that's like the music and the DJing and the games, and I love it. I've got loads of stuff here I can't even touch. That mixer, not even used, that DJ mixer for my birthday, and I got that. I drove 400 and something miles like 20 odd days ago, and I've had 10 minutes on it. So you've got to sacrifice the time, as Andy said in the other video, and then start practicing it on other stuff. And then if it means something to you and you're desperate enough, you'll do it. And this is where you get to now.
All is application. It's how you apply yourself. You can't rely on others to give you the remedy and written pieces of paper and what
like
they call
Richard
it.
says in his video as well, say, I can tell you all day, but you've got to do it yourself.
That's right. That's right. It's right for someone else telling you on the sideline, but when it's your door being knocked, or it's your property being taken, or you're in front of the cloak, or it's you there in personam, it's you that has got to stand on, under, and at whatever you're doing, and say.
Like he said, equity acts in persona.
Only in personam, yeah. You see, you got to be there, and you've got to know your verbiage.
Shadow, have you got a photographic memory?
I think I have,
I think with you might be the guy I've been looking for. I've been looking for someone that can just go and just go, like, don't be insulted. But have you seen the film Rain Man? with Dustin Hoffman. It's an old one. Rain Man, Dustin Hoffman.
I've played
Gotta
the
be
game,
nice.
Rayman.
No, not Rain Man. Rain is in water from the clouds. Rain.
Oh, no.
Rain Man. No, you haven't. Right. There's a
Is he a Marvel character?
No. Stop talking. Wait, I'll save you. It's an old film from the 90s. Dustin Hoffman is not a Marvel character. He's I think it's. Is it Dustin Hoffman, or have I made a mistake, Andy? Rain Man.
What I know about films in Hollywood, I could write on the back of a stamp.
All right. I'll just call him for backup. Let me just see, because I think it is. I'm 40 now. I've got an excuse to be old, yeah, to be forgetful even. So anyway, Shadow, what happens is in this film there is a man, and he looks after. Yeah, it is Dustin Hoffman. Come on, he plays a character called Raymond Babbitt, and Tom Cruise plays Charlie Babbitt. And for some reason, I forget the plot. I know loosely. And Tom looks after Dustin, and Dustin has got he's got a brain disorder, and what he's got is I'm not saying you have either, Shadow. All I'm saying is you've got a photographic memory. That's an articulate mind, and this guy had an articulate mind where he could remember lots of things, and so Tom Cruise used him to make money through various ways, of remembering like cards or gambling and things like that. And I've always said, because I watched that film a couple of times when I was younger, and I had an interest in it because it had numbers and things in it, and as a kid I was already interested in numbers and applications and what processes and systems use numbers and what they can be used for. And I thought that would be excellent later on in this area of law, legal stuff. I thought we could actually find someone that had a photographic memory, and then I could just go, what was that at? Such and such. And you could just have him there going, oh, yeah, it's this, like phone a friend, or even on an app, just on an app or something.
I do have a photographic memory. It's like, so it's mad how it's like when you read like Section 42, the Bills of Exchange, where it says endorsee and endorser, and then it's recourse on the bottom. Yeah. Bottom right hand corner of Section 42.
You've got but you look at the ending of the words, as well, for the clues into that, like mortgagee, trustee, set law, a creditor, debtor, mortgagee, trustor, so it's the ending of the words, but like
America has grantor, doesn't it?
Pardon?
America has grantor. In their trust language.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the correlation of the language. Yeah, you do get mixed up.
Otherwise, Big Barry's gonna come get you if you use the wrong one.
No, Big Barry comes for the crown. No, that's not. That's the dictionary police that come for you there. You got mixed up, lad. It's dictionary police that will come. Big Barry works on behalf of the crown as an agent solely for the crown, and he knows we're coming for him. He knows we've had him twice, if not thrice.
Yeah.
I'm thinking such things as Shadow, Section 163, 164, 165 of the Road Traffic Management Act, or the Consumer Credit Agreement, Section 123, Paragraph 5, blah blah blah, or bills of it. You'd just be excellent. I just thought I'd ask.
And memory. Or the Consumer Credit Act, Section 123, like just mentioned, and
We'll talk more.
There's a criminal justice. So I think it's in 1980, 87, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, you see,
I was at the Chartist movement, and Tom Crawford brought it up.
When was that? When on Saturday at the Nottingham Albert Hall? Was that on the 12th of May?
No, it was in Manchester.
All right. Well, I wanted to know if anyone had been to the Dying for Good Health on the 12th of May at the Nottingham, Albert Hall. I thought you might have been there then, but that was BC. That was not BCG or Justin. It was Brian Garish, I think, doing that UK column actually on the 12th. Can I read some comments out from the screen then? We said you reciting all your numbers and acts and bills.
Yeah.
Nice one. Let's go. We are up to Blu-rays dropped in. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Yes, Blu-ray. We've got you there. I've got that. You're sharing the event, and yes, we've got all that. Jesus has dropped in, brother Jesus Jones. Equity equals law, a branch of law that develops alongside common law and is concerned with fairness and justice, formally administered in special courts. Jones has been researching. That's
to
brilliant.
put right the wrongs in common law.
Look at him go. Sound wave. You and Steve are on the same time. Ah, Steve's on as well. Ah, I didn't know this. Look at this. I did message Steve, and we did need to promote this event about Liverpool. So that's just synchronicity gone wrong there. That's what you've got an example of. Or we've all had the same ideas, and Steve will be chatting about Liverpool, and we will be. And Steve will be promoting to his brothers and sisters, and we're doing it to ours. So together, we've actually done a good job here, actually.
We're community.
Common
That's
unity, common cause.
Yeah. Individual channels broadcasting and doing our own thing, providing midweek entertainment with 3 idiots on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You are an idiot, Shadow, whether you like it or not. If you're not, then you're not one of us.
I'm an idiot regardless.
You're a good lad. Indy wins all the time. Jesus Jones, no. Sovereigns win all the times. The movement wins. You know, the family wins. If I win, you win. If you win, I win. That's it. Alan Stanley, the magic of 369 Tesla. Yes, indeed. Oh wow.
All is 369, says Tesla.
I'd like to get hold of when I was at the last cinema, that where he done the ethos, Harry. I'd like to get hold of one of them things and oregano oil.
Yeah, well, we can put you in touch with Blu-ray. He's got contacts for that, and then we'll have some sites pop
See
up
Matthew
in a bit,
John.
Yeah.
See Matthew John on the domain. He'll put you right.
Yeah, Blu-ray's on here now in the chat room, so you can chat with him afterwards. And I'm going to colloidal silver. Yeah, that's been going well for my elbow. So we'll start making. I'm getting a distiller sent from Dodgy Doctors. Has got a distiller for me, and then I'll get some silver in. And there's a lot we can actually provide for each other at a zero cost.
When we've got time.
Oh yeah, and that bit as well, Andy. Yeah, that's quite in short supply at the minute, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Red Dragon, is this a metaphorical key or a real key? So Red Dragon, it is a metaphorical key at first because you get a card, and on that card it says Happy 21st, and there's a key picture on it. So on that picture, that's metaphorically speaking, and in your mind, you're meant to go, oh, what, you know what, Dad, it's time, isn't it, for me to be signing and getting the trust? Where's the coat of arms and all the paperwork and everything? You know, where's the executor? And you become the age of, and you be getting your, signing and saying, right, you probably have done it before if you was in an upper class family. They wouldn't even be in that situation. You wouldn't be like, oh, yes. But now, Red Dragon,
they'll just stamp their own points and I'll see ya.
It's the key to your health, wealth, and your prosperity. That's what it is.
Yeah, your freedom, actual freedom.
Such as your indoctrination, you have no clue. Only the educated private sector are taught those things. That's why you find they're all CEOs and managers and things like that. While the public school kids are all out there doing the menial labour jobs.
Yes, brother, indeed, it's true. Yeah, they are. They are in that exact way. But in law, that's the law telling you that you are now. That's their look at everything. They always give you a way out. So if you choose to be dumb enough to smoke this cancerous crap, then they will tell you that this cancerous crap will kill you and your kids, lower your sperm, give you cancer. I know everything about it. So that's what they do here. They go, right, here's the key. But we'll disguise it in such a way they'll never know what it's for. We'll do a key, and what will they think, Edward? They'll think it's for a door, won't they? Because they're thick. They won't know it's for the trust. So we'll put a key on it, and at 21 in law, you can have your trust. And everybody got the cards with the keys on, and they're like, what door's this fit? It doesn't fit a door. That's why. So it's metaphorically warped our minds. It's like a red herring to a red dragon.
It's sort of like a doctrine, isn't it? In a way.
Go on.
Sort of like a doctrine in a way. It's a subconscious sort of thing to keep you.
Yes, it's a long time old. It's reality. Sumeria, Babylon. If you look through the history and you watch Santos, you'll find out exactly where that's come from and how long it is and what controlling families. If you listen to David Icke, he will tell you about the Anunnaki and such things as, and the Nephilim, and he will go into great detail about giants and angels, and he'll tell you about every religion on earth has some kind of extraterrestrial entity, whether it be Japanese jinn, or it be Christian demons, or it be blah blah blah, and this, that, the other, and everything has an extra. So there is something that every continent has said has interfered with man from another realm, and he goes proper deep into it. He'll tell you about the moon, he'll tell you about the reptilians and where they've come from, then he tells you about the repton R-type bit of the brain here, but he gives you no answers. What Mr. Ike does, because that's his name, who he is doing business as at the Wembley Stadium for mass amounts of profit, and over 68,000 men that are classed as people sat at his seats in his audience. He gives you so much, and he gives you enough to be scared and to know that there's shit going down and to go like this. But he doesn't tell you how to, he doesn't really, he tells you, how the system works. And he'll say it's not McDonald's, it's not Burger King, it's not KFC, it's not Pizza Hut, it's not Goldman and Sachs, it's not anybody that you can see. It's not the presidents, it's not the European Union seats where they all sit round. It's a secret, non-seen, hidden, controlling factor that orders death by 1,000 paper cuts. And nobody knows who they are, and nobody knows how they're getting kit like cut all the time. And this is where we come in and go, right, enough's enough. Everybody can have shields for the paper cuts, and we'll tell you where they're coming from. And like Santos has done, not just Andy and Dave, but we've actually looked at a lot of stuff and put it together. And then I took it all apart and then built it back up, and then found out where the holes had been put in and refilled them holes in, and then looked at the proper picture and went, aha. So yeah, that's
what you do.
how I'll see it.
you go to a quid shop and you get yourself one of them water sprayers like that, and it really sends paper soft, mate. It don't cut no more.
Yeah.
Defense, sovereign defense. We had a video chat the other day which was called "How to Remove the Crown's Controlling Infrastructure, Enter the Fall of Babylon," and that was us talking about there's similar things like this, So that key and that Vatican and the shape someone's put here, Jesus Jones. The key exists at the Vatican. If you look at Google Earth, the Vatican.
When was the Vatican built?
You will hang on, wait a minute. You if you look at the Google Earth, the Vatican, you will see that it's in the shape of a key. The Vatican, So Vatican was
and the grounds around it. That's right.
You what, Andy? Go on, brother.
And the grounds around it, when you look from above, it's right, yeah. And it's in a specific place.
Lado said.
If you look at the Vatican as well, it's like if you go in the middle of it, it's like a little Berth canal where Tammuz is supposed to, because they're obsessed. But
here we go.
It's all mad pagan esoteric symbols in there. It's like an inversion.
Right now, I'm going to read out
of
some
Antichrist, as they would say.
It is deep. It goes deep. Man goes deep. When we go deep, we go up. No, I won't say that. No, knuckles involved.
Containing tons of gold while people sleep on the streets outside.
Starving. Yeah. We've got comments here. Let me catch up, guys. Jesus Jones, if you have got that, love that film. Rain Man, Hoffman, Cruz, Albert Matthews. We are right. Steve Collins has dropped in. Yes, brother. He says evening, fellas. Yes, and they need to teach basic law at schools instead of religion. That's an idea, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like I say, that they used to teach it at Sunday school, but none of us could be bothered with Sunday. You want to go Sunday school? What? No. I'm off down the field with my catapult and trying to make myself a faster go-kart. Thank you very much.
In my case,
and what they taught there was
football.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But what they taught there was that was the law of the land that we live upon. They taught the Christian realm.
They said in the last video we said this. There's new viewers here, so we'll say when they took away the silver, they took away the Latin. When they take away the Latin, they take away the etymology and the phonetics. When you take away etymology and phonetics, you are screwed. You have got a word that means three things, and it's got three different implied meanings and definitions. Suffer certain things, and you have different languages. And when you don't know Latin, English, French, Babel, anything, and you are here learning, what are you learning then? You're learning English, and English is an ish. It's a watered down. When you have a ISH at the end of a word, it means it's a watered down derivative of its original. So English is it's this babble that we speak. Stop it. Polish, English, Spanish, Hungarian, they're not issues actually. And Anne-Marie says that in Hungary, they have in the schools, they have morality lessons still taught, where they learn how to be like, all right in society and what, carry groceries home from the store and things,
What's just done right and proper?
Religion, what we got here? Law equals our rights, religion equals divide. I'm not racist, just making a point. We know you haven't said your word, that's fine. Yeah, that's not being racist. Agree, RE was in my day, religious education. If they teach law, they lose power. This is why law isn't taught, from Jesus Jones. What else? We're getting to the end. KB, evening, or David, something. Hi, Davis. How are things with your council tax? KB, they are an energy of fear that cannot be seen. Dodgy Doctors is in imp lied with his words and phonetics. Imp act with the legal terminologies there with what we're saying, and the imps and the devils and the imps. So this is crazy that you've brought that up, Shadow, because look at Dodgy Doctor's comments there.
He's all over it, ain't he, old brother Dodgy? He's a great old soul. Bless his heart. Boom.
Yeah, he is a good lad. He is a good lad.
He is. He's gone through a lot, and he's still going through a lot, and he has much pain each and every day, and he's still blessed out these tunes and that tune he done recently, just off the cuff and stuff like that. I tell you, I wept like a girl. It's amazing just to have that sort of brute force talent, just to come out and go bling 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 bling, and but all your ends of your fingers are feeling like they do for him and stuff like that. I don't want to go on about it, but he's in a bad way, but he still pushes the extra envelope to go further for man. It's just a beautiful thing to see.
I would love Santos Bernardi to come on here.
Me too, but we're on about Delone Stan.
Yeah, we're not on about. It wasn't Santos that sung that. It was it was Dodgy Doctors. Yeah. He's done that. So what we have here is a case of I'm not breaches data, but we've got someone who wants the NHS to help them, and they need a doctor and stuff, and the NHS ignores you, and the NHS says you need to ring this number, and then you ring this number, and that's like some agency that says, oh, well, you need to ring these because there's a certain reason why, and then you go around in circles, and when you're in pain and you know what I mean, you need help, and you get confused, and these guys send you in circles, and eventually you just go like, nobody checks up on anybody in this trust situation we have, and you just left. And if you don't go and follow up your own care as such, then nobody will do it for you. And that's the state of play that we're at, where you've got queues and lists, and you've got areas with catchment areas, and you've got districts now, and you've got this, that, the other, and you've got them that manage this, the Ministry for Health do this,
the
and the DWP do this, and it's like, oh my days, have we really created this? We've installed this system, and no, we haven't. We didn't do this. The one that we want would be totally different, and it'd work fine.
Yeah, it would actually.
Go on. Nobody could make a mess like that. The system was designed corrupt and broke because, as you will find out, when you learn about the quasi-trust, the foreign citizen, the CQV and other trusts, you will see that the Vatican declared and decreed to pay on the behalf of man because of the God promise and the Jehovah and all of this business with the Christianity. So what you had is the Vatican involvement with the monarchy and the government saying, we will provisionally do this and claim this and say that because it's to do with God. You can set up over there and you can charge them this. It's up to them to come to us to ask for the credit to offset it to you. So there's a triangle situation with the Vatican, the government and you. And what's happened is you've been put as a debtor, the Vatican's been put as a creditor, and the government's the administrator. I shouldn't really be saying this, but we'll just do it. And the government's administrating with the Vatican's money there, and there's happening here, but the Vatican are actually out of this trust and they're somewhere else. So in a trust, you need to have like 3 parties or 2 people playing 3 parties. But in this trust, there's only ever you, the debtor, and the government administrating, which means without that position filled there is no trust, which is why we come on to public constructed, statutory, bum rapery, deceptive, horrible, nasty things that are going off. So we realise when we stand there and say, hey, excuse me, fam, but man's beneficiary here, judiciary is trustee, and I am the creditor, I am the debtor, yeah, and I am not that name, this, that, the other, and you express that trust, and you say, and now you will be compelling him to act in his capacity, fiduciary or not, blah, 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 and you stand there and you know it, and then they go, oh dear, the jig is up, John, and they start pressing buttons and banging stuff, and hey, go. That's when you know you're on. That's it, game on. You know what I mean? It may not be in a court. It might be to a teacher. It might be to a doctor at a hospital. It might be to, you know, someone that's in a trustee capacity that maybe not in the government. It might be to your own solicitor when you find out that the all capitals name and how they're representing you is not what they should be doing. And you've watched the Dave and Andy video, and you've gone and asked your solicitor, and they've turned around and told you, and you're like, oh well, in that case, you're fired. You know, it's the way the world is. It's up to you to know who you are and what to expect and what you're worth. And if someone's telling you fibs, in law, they don't have to tell you they're telling you fibs. You've got to work it out. And that's not our system. We're sovereign. We're under common law. We say, don't lie, don't cheat, don't mess with my stuff, don't harm me, don't
steal,
you know,
that's right.
That's it. And we're honourable. So we're in a system that's dishonourable, and it wants us to be honourable. No, 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 no. We will be, because we've seen how it's happened before, and what's happened with the violence and the riots and the, you know, the prisons and the, you know, everything that's gone off. The system wins, and they impose more things. So what we've got to do is to, unfortunately, pick up pens when they're stealing children, murdering children, forcibly adopting them, and we've got to use pens and paper and do it like that until we get enough of you on force, en masse, believing, knowing, seeing, and having it like this, and seeing the action from the videos, from the proofs, from the website, from the guys in the trust that are actually having wins and getting bailiffs turned away, debt collectors, agents, clamps taken off, you know, returning to the rightful position within the trust, having the word beneficiary and trustee mentioned on a document that girl posted, that I won't breach her data, but she posted a document from the Halifax, and it's mentioned in certain things like that. So the motu proprio that the Vatican did of late, it's all there and it's all relevant. And as you've just said earlier on in this video, you can go out and find it. You can go out and look for it. You can go out and check if it's real or not. I went to a government website, and when I typed in Sestu KV 1666 Trust on DuckDuckGo, and I pressed enter, and I saw there was a website that ended .gov.uk, I went, holy, and that was a moment for me. I actually took my hat off and I went, what's this then? Turns out the government's got a thing called the CQV, and that guy weren't mad. And that's how you start. And it's all, you know, once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. And this system will let you rot and die because it's a soulless corporate entity that thinks you're an idiot child that doesn't even deserve any respect. And that's why you've got public rights. It's
because when you rot and die, they'll still profit from your ass.
Yeah, because when you die and you have that all capital text on your gravestone, the final act that you do is to die in the public. So they immortalise that act of you dying in the public, and they put all the capital there, and they put when you lived and you died. And what happens is, because they've now, on your final act with the ledgers and stuff, left the name in capitals because you never claimed your estate and went private and stuff, they then take that remainder of estate, all of the guys that have died since this crap has been invented, since the Magna Carta, the superstitions after that, and what they've done after the common law introduction of the Magna Carta, how the Vatican got involved, the CQV 1666 and other such things that they've done. Every death that has happened, hundreds of millions, well, no, not hundreds of millions, hundreds of thousands, millions have passed and been in war and fallen. Don't forget the soldiers that they kill when they go out and send everybody out to go and do the business. They collect all of them estates and all of them deaths. And yet Aunt Sally over there died last year because she couldn't eat a flat. They're telling you that the national debt is so bad that they can't fund things in schools, but yet they're running sidelines like this behind the scenes. You know, when man finds out about this, they're not going to want to write a letter, I tell you now. Then when they find out about the truth of money and everything else, we're going to have a big army to you know, do something with. You know, we're going to have a lot of letters to write. We're going to have a lot of power, and we're going to have to, you know, correct the status, not violently. What we call this,
absolutely no violence.
It's called a non-sectarian universal remedy for all. That's all it is. That's what me and Andy are doing here with our time, not sitting with the family, building websites, driving to Liverpool, driving down to Liverpool again to do a seminar. You know, it's if this doesn't crack off well, then I'm prepared to probably throw in the towel. You know, if we go to all of this, we're not throwing the towel, but we are putting in a lot of effort and a lot of time here to try and resolve some kind of knowledge where you lot can go out and take it for free and use it and actually see something and be protected, more protected than having 50 big barriers with you. What we can teach you is more than 50 big barriers, and it costs you nothing but a bit of time and some effort. That's it. And we've got the
time and
proof.
effort.
We've got proof and witnesses. We've got videos, documents, and we've got testimonials, the full shebang. Courts, commercial, no criminal. We don't touch criminal at all. Criminal goes out the window. We can't afford criminal. We do civil only. That's it. But we are ready.
Civil.
We are primed for this. Yeah. And Steve turns up, brings a good amount of folks, and you guys do what you need to do. YouTube does its job. Facebook Trust does its job. Then that's it. This guy's we're being watched and monitored. We are governed and protected to an amount, and we are on a sacred contract. So, yeah, I'm too excited. I need to calm down. Ooh,
yeah, I'd like to do an ecclesiastical deed poll, man. That would be a good thing to do once we've got the knowledge.
That way.
You have to have the knowledge. You can't do it until you can't have the next man do it for you.
Yeah. That's why I keep coming to these seminars, because people have got different quality of skills, and you can observe that and then
absolutely.
Take it in.
Are you the lad that sat at the front last time?
Yeah, I'm the big geezer.
Hey, you what? Bloody hell, you do block some lot. I know you wouldn't want to left hook off you, would we? Bloody Nora. Aye. Right old lump of meat.
Oh wow.
I'm a big man and with a gentle soul. It's like the Green Giant, the gentle soul.
This is it. We've all got different sizes, shapes, characters, skin colours and everything. And we ought to celebrate that fact. We ought to be celebrating that. Not scared, not thinking, oh, they smell a bit garlicky. Oh, they smell a bit curry-like. Oh, they smell a bit bloody, whatever. And he's always drinking beer. They're always smoking that funny stuff. Just get on with everybody. Be happy.
Yeah, man,
you're not starving. Yeah. You haven't got bombs dropping on you. You've got somewhere nice to sleep that you call your home, that you can feel comfortable in. And we can all work together to try and build on what we've got and sort these.
Whoever's at peace with themselves can enjoy the benefits of life.
You are, brother.
Is it whoever's I watched a video on a road to life. Man comes in and he's in America and he says he's at peace with himself, enjoys the benefits.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dinner. I just realised I haven't had no tea, and Anne-Marie's cooked dinner and left it there, look, and I'm like, oh, we're not going to be on all night tonight.
So what you're saying there then, Steve, is that we need to be at one. When you're at one and then we come one, that's where the strength is then, mate, because we know whom and what we are. And that's what we're trying to promote and get across.
My first name's James, but you can call me
Oh, no, we put this right at the first claim, didn't we, Shaggy? Yeah. We said all this.
Yeah. Steve Scuba.
You know the one.
I watched Big Daddy. That's a good film with Adam Sandler. I used to always watch it when I was a kid. He had this little kid, Julian, and he was obsessed with Scuba Steve.
Oh, right, I wouldn't better tell. Smokey and the Bandit, that's the last film I watched.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyable.
Oh. Boys, carry on. I will literally be 2 minutes, all right?
Yeah.
Are you scoffing, are you, boy?
No, I'm not scoffing. I just need to do 10 to something, 2 seconds, all right?
Okay.
Carry on. Sorry, 2 seconds.
You're saying sorry 2 seconds. Still here. Yeah, I didn't realise that was you from the what's it there, James? Because he has many followers on YouTube and stuff. I don't, normally come on here with him, so it's only because he wishes to talk of Saturday that is, you find me early. And
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
Good lad.
Because if Steve turns up, he'll just
icing on the cake, ain't it?
There's a site with Franco Collins does. It's called Uchada or something, but he's locked off some of the website. I'd like to know how to get a live born record. So
okay.
he's got a post on it, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if you get all your information, send
from the hospital. From the hospital he was born at.
Yeah. So if you look on the site, it's there's no way you can register on it. It's like he's got info and
From your hospital.
yeah, right. Also, yeah, because your NHS number's your trust number, isn't it? Do you want? It could be.
The establishment you was born at would have a record of it.
Yeah. Well, I've got a certified copy of my birth certificate.
Your birth registration, yeah. That's not what you're asking for, is it?
Yeah.
Go to the building that you were born at.
Like, I take longer to learn because I've got I went to special school when I was.
We all go to special school, mate. We're all special individuals. We've all got special needs, and we've all got special wants, and we've all got special talents. Don't worry of that.
Yeah.
I was kept back a year in school as well, and I was outside the principal's office just about every day. I was always getting told to get out the class. I was always, just sat outside the reception and always getting into trouble. I can relate to that. I think because of the dyslexia and the hyperactivity and the indigo all mixed in the 1980s, just nobody knew anything. They didn't know what hyperactive. Well, they knew that kids ate sugar and they went ape. Basically, that's the word they used. He's going ape shit.
A numbers.
Yeah, and it was like my mum says that when I was 2, I slept for 3 hours, and that was it. I was up after 3 hours. Kip from 2 onwards. Baby was up on it. So, I had a hard time with energy and not having many friends and being always in trouble, not recognising authority, questioning it at every turn. I don't know why, it's just the way I was built. And then here we are now doing this. It's like it's all come full circle. Who's laughing now? Not me, not them. I am. I'm laughing about it all. Look what little crazy shitbags found out.
Exactly.
Sorry for swearing, but the teachers now, you know what I mean? If they could see it. David's done what? That same David that was the one that was the worst kid we ever had. Yeah, him. He's done what? He started talking about law and helping, vulnerable people, and he's got some brothers together. And
you'll amount to be no one.
Hey, yeah, that's what I mean. I should be in prison, me, according to them, after robbing and committing criminal things. And I've never been in prison. Never. Swear on my, my worth. My word is my bond. Never. I've been told off. I've been, my person's been searched. But it won't be again. So don't feel no weight. Respect to you for that. Way. Just be careful. You're on YouTube as well, so we're not saying your names and that. You're only down as Shadow, but you don't want to release too much personal information. These guys are nice that are here now, but it's just you got to be careful in future. We teach you. This is part of the course, Andy. Here's up. Me and Andy were chatting about this the other day, and so was the tech guy from the website. Like, you need to know, we need to know as man at school, along with law, about such things as giving your data out, how to handle your data, your person's data, which bit is yours and which bit is your person's. Anybody seen the Experian advert, Dan and his data self? Shadow, you seen that advert? Xperia. No, it's a credit research company. It's on TV, and it's 2 men that are identical, and one's a real man and one's a reflection of his data. So it's his twin, but his twin's made of data. Like on Star Trek, there was a guy called Data, like that. His name's Data, his data self, and it was a computer version of him. And it tells you, this is what we've got going around here. We should be taught this. But we lost it. We've lost it all, and we will teach you, how to not to get mixed up with it all, basically. And your data is very important, so be careful. The courses that we will teach is when you get a letter and it's addressed to the all caps, that's not you. That's come to a letterbox, so it's come to your office. You're in office, but you don't know you're in office. But Dave and Andy will tell you you're in an office, and that Mr. All Caps is your public liability part. The surname is basically all that name is the surname. You, the Shadow and Dynamics, so Shadow is the creator and Dynamics is the debtor. So what they do is put big Dynamics on top of next to Little Shadow name. So it goes Little Shadow followed Big Dynamics. That's still wrong. That's the big capital Dynamics put onto the Christian creditor Shadow lowercase name. So it's going debtor creditor, and you're like, no, this is how it is. I'm the little, and that's the big. We keep it separate, so the man can manage that, with it. So when you're online and you are looking at entering stuff or putting stuff down, you've put shadow dynamics, so that's good. You've got it there. But when you're on chats and stuff, if you're not, careful, you got to be careful, brother. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
A copyrighted document isn't yours.
We'll teach some of this out, like when the phone rings and you go, hello, can I speak to Mr. Shadow Dynamics? And you go, yeah, speaking. Oh, hello, it's Kathy here from Barclaycard. About that £40,000 you owe. Oh, yeah, I'm a bit skint at the minute. It doesn't matter. Where are you, please? Is this still your address? Yes, okay. Big John's coming around tomorrow to talk about a payment plan. Okay, thank you, Shadow. Goodbye. And you're like, whoa, let's go again. Phone rings. Hello, can I speak to Mr. Shadow Dynamics, please? I'm sorry, who's calling, please? Hello, this is Deborah from Capital One. Oh, right. Mr. Shadow Dynamics isn't here now. I'm his agent and authorised representative in office, and I'm able to deal with his affairs, as part of his business and affairs. So what can I help you with? What's your surname, please? Well, I don't have a surname. I've just got the given name. I am Shadow of the family Dynamics. Oh, right. What's your date of birth then, please, Shadow? Well, again, my date of birth's hearsay. Sorry. Are you after my legal person? What's your legal person? Mr. Shadow Dynamics. Yeah, is he there? Can I speak to him, please? No, he's dead. Sorry, love. He's never been alive. May I ask you, are you legally trained there, love? No, you're not. Okay, well, we're not going to be able to proceed then. May I speak to your legal department, please? What? Sorry, you haven't got one. And you're ringing me for money. And you're looking for Mr. Shadow Dynamics, right? Yeah, I need to speak to somebody about this. Can I speak to your manager, please? And you go that way, and you say, can I speak to you? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you trained legally? Okay, can I speak to somebody that is? And get to somebody who's trained to speak legally or works for the legal department of the revenue collection for that company that's asking for the Mr. and the surname and the date of birth. When you get hold of them, that's when you can start saying, I am, and they will understand, or they will pretend not to, and you'll say, give me an email address, please. I'd like to send you all the supporting documentation that I have to the capacity and status, and it will all become clear, and they may even give you a conditional acceptance offer, and in there with it, so that satisfies all of this, and we'll deal with it legally. And you do it as the agent, authorised principal, in office creditor on behalf of the debtor, and that's how we roll, you see. So this is what we need to teach out. I've just given a lesson away there, free. That's a lesson there. It didn't take 2 minutes, did it? At all.
No, he
Locked
didn't.
up on, mate.
He's remaining honour.
Remaining honour with clean hands.
Yeah, that's how equity works.
That's how life works. It's about being just and right. And like Andy says, it's about having them principles. And if you stick to them, you can't go wrong, lad. So when they come after you, like Andy's been saying, that's it. It's how life is.
If it's not just and right and proper, then you don't divulge. Simple as that. What is property? Yeah. That which is just right and proper.
Indeed.
Right? Proper. That which is just and right and proper, only exclusive to you within a society. That's property.
Yeah,
you claim the allodial title of it, and you own all the titles and rights and possessory rights to it. It's yours, and you shall benefit from these properties as and when you wish, and no one shall intervene.
Don't mess about, does he? See, that's why we have him on. He's such a legend.
Yeah, man. Andy, he's a legend.
Don't mess about, nah, Gills. It's just how I feel. It's how I see it. It's my own interpretation. It's my belief, and it's how I live my life. If it's not just right and proper, I just don't entertain it. So therefore, it will save you a lot of trouble and strife further along down the path of your life.
You could have Shadow saying that, like, to the guy at the door wanting collections for, on behalf of the local government branch, and he's like, yeah, but I'm just right and proper. But you got to enforce that with how Andy is, his like caliber, his persona, the way that he doesn't just say it because he thinks it's right. He says it because he's been there and looked at it, and he knows each and every word that he uses, and he doesn't use many. See, David uses far too many, and I'll be the first to say it. So I made friends with Andy and said, hey, up, pal, we do, you're teaching me how to speak properly, please. No, but, we became friends, and I saw, we got off, and it was like we could help each other out here. So
absolutely.
We are doing exactly what we are doing.
I'm quite amazed because all my recent calls and everything, all my personal messages are all that of everyone's amazed by the way that I speak and the way that my verbiage and the way that I convey myself or carry myself or whatever which way you wish to put it. It's quite embarrassing for me, Dave, and it's all your fault, because I'm just a private man going about my thing and in a way which is righteous and proper. And if I can show somebody else how to do that for the sake of a bit of time and love, then so it shall be. So it shall
going to be
be, mate.
your what's the word, accolade to you? This you did say, what can I do to help? And I says, well, the admins are being a bit shy here. They're not being shy. They're just busy, and they've got their own issue. They are very busy.
Absolutely.
It's a game of sacrifice here. We're all sacrificing, and they do what they can. So I don't put on them. And I says, I need a little wingman for some videos. To be fair, we need to go. Sick of doing them on my own, and I've done over 100 or something. I need some. Serge did some, to be fair, and I'm grateful. And he's busy doing his thing, and that's what I mean. We don't put on the brothers and sisters. They come to us when they can spare the
How
time.
is Serge
And in the
doing
meantime,
anyway?
we get on. So. I'll talk to him off camera about stuff like that. It's private, but he's good. He's doing all right, brother. And Andy just says, "What can I do to help?" And we're like, "Come on, we need to crack on with these." And as we've progressed and got into it, it's gone all right, I think.
What, we've done about 20 videos together or something now on our domain, haven't we? Must be something.
We've got to have, something like that.
Yeah, it all seems pretty
What's
positive.
That thing that Richard does? He does like, if you go in the SPL's Pro, he says like health and thingy, and you go through a page, you sign the email, and
Wealth Guardian. We can't promote that enough. Get yourself on there, mate.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. That's where me and Dave cognize our information from. That's where it's all at.
Yeah, Serge came along a couple of years ago, 2016 to mid 2016, maybe. Where are we? 2018. I'm so bad with time at the minute. It's just wow. Yeah, a good year and a half, 2 years. And then after we'd been chatting, he went on his research. I went on mine, and we had some little chat groups going off because we had that Heather from America and the Treasury Direct and the reports of guys buying £500,000 dollar private property vehicles, iron horses, and getting away with it and using the Harvey Dent promissory note endorsement, UCC, banking transfer. And it was like, what? We're missing a trick here. By the time we catch on, they'll have blocked it off. So we started looking into it, and that's then how we found trust and equity. And then Serge came and said, there's some videos here by Kenneth as King, user from another platform, and we went, what are these? And he went, look at these here, and there's a guy with the blackboard, a whiteboard, and he's got different color pens, and he's writing triangles and putting set law, credit, trustee, beneficiary, set law, and he's putting other examples, and he's using all these weird, and we're like, what is this? And then when he said about the equitable maxims, we went, that's common law, mate. But that's not common law it's life, Jim, but not as we know it, we all said. And Richard Ansar came along, and we had a look at these 3 videos, but it were Kenneth is King and Serge that promoted that. We linked it up to the admin. We looked at it. We were looking at the Treasury Direct accounts, and I was like, boom, here we are. It's the beginning of the end for the Crowns and the establishment, because we've just found the merger of the private to the public there. Done.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
You can't explain equity and trust to somebody. You need to know, but you have used the trust. Me and Andy's explained some examples of trust, and I have with babysitters and going to the pub and certain things to keep it simple. It sounds complicated, but that's how it all is governed. It's governed by, we have a choice, and if you didn't have a choice, you would be a slave. So what they've done is they've used the rule and the full force of law being used against you if you do not get in contact and you do not pay, and you may be in trouble and you may be breaking the law. And then they're going to send the Gestapo around in the black uniforms, in the black law, in the dark, and it's like, hang on a minute, we see what's going on here. This isn't our system. This isn't for us. There's no victim here.
Acting out the colour of law, they're in the wrong jurisdiction, and they've forgotten what capacity we have.
I don't consent.
They have also, so that's right.
Yeah, we don't
Everything's by consent.
We don't know, and they just still take you.
You won't be force-fed.
It says it in Black's Law Dictionary. I think it's in the 3rd one. John Harris explains that really good. What
you on about? Which bit, Shadow? Black's Law, consent. Version 3.
Yeah,
he
says John Harris says it like he says it's in Black's Law Dictionary, the 3rd one. It's like that you consent.
Everything is consent.
You can only,
We're governed and ruled by consent.
Yes, boys.
Can given the
That's
force
right.
We're governed
of law,
and ruled
but it's
by
not
consent.
law.
Acts and statutes have the full force of law with the consent of the governed.
Yeah.
This is important. Yes, and
That's
if you
how it
don't have that
goes.
choice, and if you
If
don't
you-
have that choice, yeah.
If you don't have that
Andy.
choice, then you're on board a dictatorship, aren't you? So there's always consent there, but you've got to know how and where to remove it or not give it in the first place via acquiescence.
Or have it assumed that it is
That's
given.
right.
You know,
You must reserve the assumptions and presumptions of the law.
Oh, you've had an accident, have you? And you're dead now. Okay, we're going to take your kidney, brains, and your lungs. What do you mean you're taking my son's? Well, he didn't tell us not to. What do you mean? Well, as of the 5th of May, such and such. Now, anybody dies, we can take all of their lungs, organs, sorry, and recycle them. We call it organ psych. What's organ psych? Where we recycle organs. All right, but if you don't know, it doesn't matter. Ignorance is no defense. This is the system. It's like, hang on, man, who's made this? We found out who made it, and that's where we are now.
Absolutely. So there you're at then.
What time are we on, Andy? What are we saying?
I don't know.
10 o'clock?
I don't know, mate. Is there any more comments or out, Dave? It's 5 to 10.
I'm outside having a zigzag, then I'll go in. I just had to nip to the little boys' room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because as you know, I'm always on my handheld device. I can't see messages or anything like that. It's just 3 little things on the bottom of my phone. So I don't know if anybody had any questions or anything like that of a divine nature.
Shadow, can you see the screen? Are you at a PC or laptop?
I could see your hand be your own hero. What's about?
No, all right. No, but I mean, are you at, can you see YouTube? Can you see the comments on the side? On the YouTube, there's a chat panel on the side. If you're near if you're on your phone, you won't see it. Yeah, it don't matter. I'll get in.
I'm on the phone. I'm on a crappy iPhone. I've got another phone here, but
there are other crappy phones available, but that's just a particularly crappy one. Okay.
I stick to the iPhone for the time being.
I stick to ideas. I have ideas. No one have eyes and iPads and iPhones.
Normally, no ideas.
Yeah, it used to be. Now they're just coming thick and fast. Sovereign Paralegals Junior was said on a chat the other night. I was like, "What do you mean, Sovereign Paralegals Junior, Blue and
absolutely
Sovereign?" Like, well, why not get the kids enrolled in something? I'm like, actually, that's not a bad
12
idea.
12 to 16. That's right. What? As they leave the indoctrination camp that they call the middle school and move up to the comprehensive measures, that's the time to teach them all that is good and natural and right and proper.
If we can get enough guys from YouTube and Facebook and other groups and that join onto the pro.com, what we can start doing is getting home tutoring arranged, but we can have private, like sovereign paralegals in association, affiliation, never partnership with other groups, other ex-teachers, not like soldiers and stuff, but ex-services and things. Yeah, we could get them working with the trust, get them on board, not on board, get them see cognitive dissonance, Shadow, get them on board, We're not on a ship, we're on land. Mother, you know what I mean?
We need to get on board. We get them on land, not off the ships.
In the team, we get them in the family.
Get the cattle off the ships.
It's hard work, I'm telling you. You can't be perfect. No one's perfect. See, it happens. So we get them, and then we start teaching and educating through the workshops of our own, like the Sikhs and the certain Jews do that as well. You know, the Jews actually teach and homeschool a lot, and so do the Muslims and the Sikhs. It's the English, the Anglo that doesn't know what the rites and things are. It's like this burial that's come up recently with the funerals. You don't have to go through all that crap with the funerals and the burials. If you look at your rites and you're in SPLs on Facebook, you'll have seen the article that I posted about the woman that did her own burial and did it all and what the laws are about deaths and burials and stuff. It's all there to be found. It's all there, brother.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, no.
Open eyes shall see.
I've got tiny crab eyes, but I see quite a lot still.
It's like getting your head above the water, like Andy says, giving you enough to paddle it.
That's what it's all about, mate, because it's ultimately down to you. It's all down to each individual one of us, to do what's just and right and proper. So if we can do it collectively, then it's all going to be for the good, eh?
Yeah, we carry some scars, don't we? We got to turn the anger and the frustration and all of that. Like what I've got, I get angry when I can't get dodgy doctors service that he needs, and I've got to wait in a queue. I've got to wait for emails. I've got to wait, and it's like, yeah, I do feel it does boil. I have my blood boil, and I have to relay the energy back into, you know, something that isn't negative and angry and think. I've got to be here and promote for this guy and be, you know, whatever. And yeah, we do it. We do it together. He's fully
We're doing it for
understanding.
folk. We're doing it for the greater good, so people can live a bit instead of just survive. Because the vast number of people that I know are just merely surviving week to
That's
week,
intolerable. It's
day
not,
to day,
yeah.
and that's what I'm in it for, so they can have a bit of a life. And I've got friends with children. I'll say children that are under the 7 years old, and they haven't been to the seaside yet, and they're working families.
Yeah,
You know, and this is what I'm in it for. To help bring change to these sorts of scenarios where people can have a little bit of a life.
As long as they can keep people down there.
Oh, you're never supposed to aspire. That's how it is. Yes. If you put your hand up, put your hand down.
You
You're
have
not
the
answering the
national.
question.
You've got all the instrumentation there. You've got the certificate of birth, the birth certificate, and you've got the warning on the bottom. Do not use this as evidence of identity. You get the key to 21 at the door. You've got the national insurance number for your person. That's your indemnification thing.
They're
You've
all
got your
bonds.
thumbprints. Yeah, you've got your thumbprints. You've got everything you need. It's just that we can't figure out how to put it into the correct order, in the correct way, at the correct time to go, I'm not your slave, mother. Leave me alone. These are my property, and that's it. Contract
and that's
severed.
that. If you go to work Monday to Friday, what do you get on a Friday? Is it an income or an outcome?
But or you get taken some off, and then you get.
Is it an income or an outcome?
Probably an income, but like it gets taken out on it. It gets credit to you.
You only get out there. Yeah. If you don't put it in, you don't get it out. You've tried living and bartered, haven't you?
Your input is your time and your sweat equity is what he means. So he's saying there, you put in labour, you put in time, you put in sweat, blood, tears, whatever, and then you get out of it some kind of a credit. So the payment part is an outcome of your input of labour. So the input is man's labour and time and sweat. And the output of man's labour and time and sweat is a credit system, which we know is the fiat currency money in a minute, which is not money because of the removal of silver in the Gold Standard Act. So we're all in debt and there is no money. And so therefore, get ready, because when everyone finds out about this, they'll be like, what do you mean? So going bankrupt, when my next door neighbour went bankrupt and the whole street shunned him in the early 90s, they shouldn't have done that. They should have just said, you know what, you're a clever lad.
Do you have a copy of that on the SPL Pros, the Gold Standard Act? By the chance, or on your page?
It'll be up there. Yeah, we've got documents and any kind of acts and bills that have been publicly, you know, put out there like that and publicised that are in the public domain. We have a permission under copyright to show, because the public documents, because they've been paid for by the public with the taxpayers' money, so they're ours. So yeah, they will all be up there, and ones we haven't got, we'll look to put up. But we got them in the early days when we're looking at the money, because we was confused about it. What was money? What is currency? What is credit? What is fiscal?
What is legal tender?
Oh Lord, you know, yeah, it's just
your
such a
endorsement,
joke.
I think.
There's a few things that is legal tender, and there's a few things that isn't, that they still take accepted today as payment, but isn't legal tender, but which they proclaim is. So just go and have a little look into the matrix of money.
So yeah,
bills of exchange, negotiable instruments, accepting for value.
Well, you can actually put that on the piece of paper. I was watching something on there. Veronica Chapman, she talks a bit about mortgages and stuff.
When she talks about the death grip.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Something to sort my video out. Watch. There we go. So back. So in the control center. Let's go to the room then. Let's wrap this up. We're gonna show that because it's from Jesus Jones. Here we go. Let me just read out then, and you guys can see what you think. Wow, there's a few bits here. Jeez Louise, all right, God Lord, we've got some interaction. I know where we are. Everyone's a middleman from dodgy doctors. Jesus agrees. Rotus are Russ. People are waking up, brothers. Much love for the channel and you guys. Keep it up. Annalise Stanley.
Thank you.
Babylon can't recruit.
Boy, you are the Babylon.
You know it's Alias 69 says evening all. Jonesy says true that Napoleon War was a Rothschild's windfall.
Absolutely, they sent the pigeons back with an incorrect message, I do believe.
No, I know what it is. They the Rothschilds they didn't have the man on the horse. They had the man on the horse and he took a while and they had pigeons. So the pigeons come back and the Rothschild's pigeon come back first. And Nathan or Jacob. Nathan I'll go for. I think it's Nathan Rothschild. Could be Jacob though. Check it out. He said when he got the note, Waterloo battle, Napoleon and all that. Yes. All right, we've won, have we? Right, sell all the shares. And he's like, Cuthbert, what do you mean sell the shares? We've won. He said, yes, exactly. Sell them now. And he went, but they're going to go up. You don't want to sell them. Keep them. And he went, no, idiot. If we sell them, everybody else will do what? Because they'll think we've lost. They'll sell theirs. We'll collect them up. When the word comes back, their pigeon is going to be another day. So when they've done that, we'll collect them. The bird comes back. The prices go up. We'll have all of them. And that's what they did. Their bird come back first. They knew we had won at the Waterloo with Wellington and Napoleon. Who said Napoleon? Wellington, yeah. And they got the message first, so they played a trick, and they was cunning, and they knew we've won, so they sold everything. You know what I mean? And then everyone sold because they thought if they're selling and they are the richest guys in the world, they must be knowing of. So everybody copied the richest guys in the world. Rothschilds, well, one of the richest families, if not the. And then when the news come in, boys. Obviously, you know, they'd bought them back straight away because, you know, once they saw the market was flooded, they went collect, and they collected. Then the other pigeons come back, and everybody, the common knowledge, the commoners got told, what do you mean? What? We've won. All right. Well, the Bank of England sold all its bonds, and the Rothschilds have bought them all up. Okay. So now it's the Bank of England and Rothschild and Windsor, isn't it? That's what we've got now because of that. Yeah.
Who owns the majority of the gold?
It's backed by goats, isn't it?
Nasty. It's nasty games. We're going to play our own games, though. We're not going to break any laws, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. And we've got the creator telling us to do it. Otherwise, we're all going to burn in eternal damnation for leaving our offspring to pay for water, air, and not have a
to leave them in peril and in harm's way.
And to be possibly put to death by public laws. Oh, I'm trying not to speak about it, but, you know, there's a mission here, isn't there? There's an underlying tone to all of this. Yeah, the theft of man's blood, to be fair. And man's not strong enough to protect his own blood, and then we just stand and watch it go down the drain. No, we can't. I'd rather not see that, to be fair. That needs to stop, let alone the foreign war policy. Somebody come in the group today and said, if I set a trust up and I put all of my council tax, and poll tax was the word that was used, so that's how, this is not a youth that's saying this is somebody of 50, 60 that remembers the poll tax. And they said, so I put all of the poll tax payments into this account, and then because it's in a trust and I've actually paid it and it's a specific account just for poll tax, that means that they can't lock me up. I went, whoa, stop. I went, you are not liable for poll tax for one. And somebody had said council tax. They had a chat about all of that, brought them up to speed, and they went, look, just tell me. And I went, you're right, you're in a trust. You've mentioned a trust. Why would you set a trust up to put money in to say that it's for council tax when you could just say that you are X, Y, and Z, creditor, debtor, blah, 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 and you offer payment that way? I says, don't try and come in and create other things up involving trusts to when you need to know why you are, how they are billing for that tax and who they are billing and how you could perhaps pay for it. So that was interesting chat as well. You know what I mean? It's it's just something I wanted to mention that it's simple.
I didn't see it.
Simple. No, you won't because you're busy and there's too much going off, Andy. The penny's mightier than the sword, says Jonesy. Doctor says something, but it's out of sync. I don't know what that means. Steve says the NHS has a number for your family. I don't know what that means. Explain that a bit more. I don't know. An NHS number or a telephone number or an ID number or well, I don't know. Jonesy says I too was in the special class. I thank the Lord as when I left school my true learning started.
I think he'd mean a monetary number.
Ah, yeah, you go, Andy.
No,
You
do you
see.
know when you get admitted to hospital, like you get an NHS number next to your date of birth and all name caps.
I have a
'Cause
name.
I was in hospital last year for lamblingtitis. What that is like it's a fluid of imbalance and
Oh, yeah.
buggers up your sight.
Really? Oh, because your eyes, ears, nose, and throat are all connected. So when you get something
Yeah,
there, it can possibly affect all. So you do need to be looked at quickly.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bless you. You all right now?
Oh yeah, it was about 6 October time. I was there for 3 days. And it
Now
was
you
like
see. Do you know about the? Do you know what man's most strongest antibiotic is? No.
willpower.
Well, yeah, you're close. Yeah, the willpower is actually because of the placebo effect. So yeah, full points. But the next one would be colloidal silver, what we're looking into, and the monatomic gold and things like that. You know, it is more powerful than man's strongest antibiotic. It's been proven. That's colloidal silver. So if you ever get ear, nose, eye, any kind of irritant like that, I'd look into what you could perhaps look at topic wise that isn't available through your local
I'd love a
pharmacy.
good ear cleaner, me, because you know what I mean. I've been trying to get remedy because my ears always get blocked.
Remedy
Listen,
for
Right
what?
mate. Listen. Let me give you a piece of advice. Do you know the biggest thing to put in your ear?
Go on, Andy. Give
Your
it on.
elbow.
Your
No.
thumb. Do you know what I mean? It's just leave your ears alone, mate. They've got their own little ecosystem in there, mate, and they'll do what's right and natural. But otherwise, I seen the one on there the other day when they put a tube on there and then they light it at the top, you know, and it will draw anything out. Try and do a natural remedy like that, you know. But I certainly wouldn't be poking and prodding anything in there, mate, in case you accidentally pop your drum or injure or harm yourself.
Come on.
They're supposed to be banning these cotton buds, I've heard, anyway, because they're clogging up all the drains or whatever you. So it's a good thing for me. They shouldn't be really used, you know. They're dangerous for the young ones and
Plastic
whatnot.
straws, the Conservatives have put in a thing to say, plastic straws, and it should have done this years ago. We should have all started
They'll just make
using
them out of
hemp.
paper now. Remember, like the paper straws we used to have when we were kids, compressed,
Yeah,
rolled up paper. You just roll it all out, you know. It's going to be like that now. So
yeah,
more
but we
trees.
should be doing that. We should be more ecologically minded with regards to how we waste and things and production. It's just because it's cheaper and more profitable. They're
Yeah.
allowed to use oil. We
I
use
don't
oil.
need a bloody cotton bud. I've got a Jack Russell.
Right, back to the comments. So, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Yep, agreed. Yeah, Jonesy watches TV though, as I love the programming they are showing. You're a sadist, are you, Jesus? That's what it
It's
is.
our live vision.
I do watch the TV and some episodes. Like I watched, I like quantum mechanics and like CSI stuff and X Files and all of that rolled into one in the form of Fringe was quite good to watch. But I am aware of the programming and I do like to watch because they did mention Nikola Tesla in it in Fringe and I couldn't believe it. And they mentioned something else as well. So just shows you. I like to see that. I know what you mean. Blu-ray says, "What a leg end, lol."
Leg
Can I
end.
start? Yeah. Can I start a project idea on paper, then put that into trust? Well, you could claim, res it's idea into trust. No, we have other things like copyright and trademark or common law, intellectual property rights and things like that. So you do that differently. You won't put an idea. You put something of a res of something of value, intrinsic, intangible, non-tangible, but something that could be into a trust would be an asset. So is that an asset? That's an idea. That's not really an asset. The company would be an asset to put into a trust, but not the idea itself. Something you want to protect. So you want to protect an idea or a project. Maybe a project could be done as something, but not an idea. Can you recommend where to learn this? What do you want to learn the way Weiss? We've talked about a lot. Clarify what you want to learn other than our domain or the Facebook trust we currently have. Thank you, Jesus. But when someone this isn't live, yeah, we are live. This is a live cast, yeah.
Back to front. King
Version.
James version.
No, that's right. We can read that, Andy. That's coming through, yeah.
There you go. That's where you can learn this. That's where I've learnt mine.
What is that you just shown there?
King James version of the Bible.
Get mixed up. I was going to say, I was going to call you Dave Andy.
No, worries, Dave.
The way
Don't worry about that, Shaggy.
Blu-rays said to watch some channels on Indiglo. Look at Sovereign playlist. There's not just me on there. There's quite a few friends and family on the Sovereign playlist. Steve McRae. Yeah, they've had a call. Who's this? The Way Weiss had a call today. Wish they'd heard this chat yesterday. Halifax, all right. All right. This is how they wrote us found Indiglo. Okay, thank you guys. We are here to promote the Liverpool seminar that's coming up on this Saturday. So please share this video. Any of the videos that you go on the playlist that you see me, Andy, Steve McRae.
What time does it start? 10 o'clock?
Yeah, 10 o'clock. Yeah, but that'll be when the doors open. We'll be there at 9, actually. Yeah, we'll open the doors about 10, yeah, for everybody to get in once we've set up. It's a new venue, so we've not been there before. It's called the Black E in Liverpool. I've put on the domain splspro.com. The event page has got all the details, all the links to the Facebook group, which is Sov's Common Unity. We have a trust on Facebook, which is called Sovereign Paralegals, S Nunk Pro Tunk SDG SS 1111, blah blah blah. I can't believe I finally learned it. So that's a trust on Facebook. There is a .com called splspro.com where you can have a private residency with membership, not membership. You can join and become part of the family and act as a benefit and be a beneficiary, and have me, Andy, and others as your trustees in life as kind of guardians going forward, for the princely sum of 12 credits, fiat pounds donation for the site, which works out at £1 a month, 25 pence a week. A phone call, a letter, and anybody going to a judiciary with you will cost you tens to hundreds of pounds per hour. So, you know, bear that in mind. Refer back to the previous videos we've had, Andy, the guests, and we need heads and souls down on the Black E for getting the gallery for the 12th, Saturday the 12th. It's a free event. You know, we're putting our time and effort and sacrificing a lot here, massive amounts. So this is probably the last push we're going to give in this direction with regards to what's happened at Liverpool of late, and you know, things that you guys want to know. This all ties in with your money and finance and banking and bills and future and children and property and everything. So if you have got some time or a little bit to come in and say hello, or just, you know, drop us a message on the domain, on the comments here. Yeah, well, thank you very much for that, won't we, Andy?
Absolutely. It's all we can do, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I should be abroad DJing, to be fair. So building a law website and launching Hydrogen Doctor and having hangouts and leaving a 26.5 grand job and turning 40. I'm a bit confused. You see, and people think, you know, life is given and life is, you know, programmed, and you've got to be here and you must have this much savings. And no, we just wing it. We just go on what the flow is. And I think we've been directed to do some of this stuff, and I don't think it's happened by chance. And
it's the ebb and flow. It's the laws of nature.
It's all about coming out the matrix.
Someone's got to do something, aren't they? And there's people out there charging a lot of money that don't know the right thing, and guys are going and giving them money and falling down, and it's like, right, you know, what happened recently and what we're seeing now and current things with Euro and foreign policy. We need to act, and we need to act fast. Yeah, we do indeed, guys. Yeah, so we need these guys. The way wise, you need to try and follow the links. Go on to splspro.com and get onto the links there, and have a chat with the family, make friends on here, and we'll do what we can. But we are overloaded, overworked, and run off our feet, and there's too much demand for the little supply. So once we're established, we will be in a securer, safer, you know, position to help you. But at the minute, we've got to help each other literally until we establish this kind of network that we're going to put through the .com and our friends and family that we will link up through the directories. So this is international. YouTube is not just the Anglo mass, remember. So if you are in a foreign country to us and you are on shores further away across a pond, then you've got international capabilities as well. And all of this with the certificate rings true because it all goes back, as Lado said, Shadow said, Vatican, he's right at the beginning. See, I remember everything what we say just about, but you did say that, and it is true. So for that reason, if you're in Jamaica, Trinidad, Spain, Mexico, France, Italy, Romania, Bulgaria, wherever. If you've got that certificate, look at the bottom and see what message you've got there. And if you've got that same message, you need to think about how you move forward and who is what and who really is, you know, the boss of who.
Well, that's what Canon's covered, doesn't it? It covers all that stuff as well, with the birth certificates and stuff.
There are some good comments going off.
Roman canon law.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, I thought you'd finish.
Yeah, canon and ecclesiastical laws cover it, and a lot of acts and statutes cover it also. There's a lot of areas that all cover it. But how much of it are you going to, you know, apply yourself to learn? You need to know enough to defend yourself initially. Well, you can do that, can't you, brother?
All the way to get humanity out of the matrix, if they choose to live.
Well, you need to learn to defend your own realm first, and then you can bring forth your knowledge and your wisdom, that is, then to share what you know and help others along their rocky path if they have one, you know. That's where I found myself with Dave. That's all as I'm doing.
I'm doing weekend and retire. Someone's put weekend, so what I'm going to do is add a little bit of different phonics on that and spelling with the phonics are the same, but
retread the tire.
And weekend, retire, and I've just that was something Steve put there. Weekend, it's a good comment. Blah blah. Weekend of the deal. He's commenting on what you said earlier. The why? So I tried joining, sent message on Skype, but wasn't fruitful. We're coming down to London at some point. We would like to come down to London. We're looking at down south and getting a venue sorted, but we'll get back to you if you can find one for us.
I've recently spoken to somebody in the London area, and they're looking into a venue for us, so we'll see what goes on.
I've spoken to a Sri Lankan called Anton who was ringing me from London. Random how that phone just rings and who I get at the end and where they're from. Sri Lankan in London called Anton. He's in the SPLs group. He just said what had gone off, and he says coming down, and I says we need a venue, and he turned around and says, what if I get a load of families together and we just go in the big house and we have a chat? I went, yeah, that'll do.
Absolutely.
I said, I will be bringing friends, though. I'm not coming on my own. He went, yeah, no problem. Obviously, going into an house for a chat in London. No problem. Yeah, whereabouts are you? Oh, right, inner London. Greater London. All right, yeah, okay. But yeah, we can do. We don't have to have a venue. If you know someone who's got property, let me think, property, venue of not public house and not Christian churches. So I tend to want to stay away from them because they won't like
private land.
Yeah. Anything like a venue as such or a business that we could actually utilize, that'd be grand. We will try and record what we can on Saturday. We are looking at cameras. We need some help with I'll look at that tomorrow, Jesus, and we'll get back to you. And we will do what we can with recording, because I'd like to record the presentation by myself and Andy, not so much Steve, for the website to put on for the training courses for some of these one-day courses that we've just gone through earlier. I did it when I was in the kitchen for you. So if Steve permits it to be recorded, we will, but he's a private guy. He doesn't operate in the public. What he does on his YouTube channel and in our private Facebook trust is private for us and for him to do there. We can't speak for him or promote him or pass any of his stuff about without his prior consent. So we can mention his name. He hasn't copyrighted that, but we respect his rights to privacy. And if he doesn't want to have any of his information put out there, then you must try to attend. As we say, it's vitally important that you try to get there in the person, in the actual body and flesh. You get there, because if you don't attend, then you will all get edited out
in persona.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? We need to get it out, but we can only do what we can do. And as for others, then
he who seeks equity must be in equity.
Coach artist movement. We've got Rasputin Slayer. So with a screen name like Rasputin Slayer, I'll be careful. My belly's rumbling. I need to be quick because it thinks my throat's not working. The new Chartist movement shows potential. I've spoke to David Robinson in the message and the guys from BCG. They need to have a chat. We need to have a chat and see what we can do. You've just put a question mark. Yeah, so I don't know what they mean there, Andy.
I don't know. I didn't know hear whom you said. Have a chat with whom?
Oh, sorry, it was David Robinson, Practical Lawful Dissent guys, and the New Chartist Movement. I've been made an admin in there to Eddie's put a statement out saying that we need to join together.
I've never heard of it, mate. The New Charter. I've never,
it's new.
Like I said, I'm not a computer savvy. I've only got my phone now. I'm on no groups or nothing, so I wouldn't have a Scooby bloody do.
The way wise venue 50, 70 maximum. It depends. London, it could go other way. We could get 200 because it's London, but I'd say we always estimate 50 to 100. Sometimes it's 30, so that's like touch and go whether you should carry on really. But 50ish, something like that. We could cope with. We're getting to the end. It runs on water. Stanley Meyer, inventor, 1970s, murdered. Yes, he was. Engine runs on waters. If we need someone to organise it into manageable bites, and you can help as an ex-teacher, good to know. Oh, it's turning out good here. Get on the domain that I've posted, and get in touch with us or get in the Facebook. If you don't have Facebook, then join the .com, please, or look to join it and consider. Matthew's put comments. We're all good. We're up to date. Yes.
Boom.
Dinner time at 10:20. Sacrifice.
Bonjour.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We can. Man can live. There's guys out there starving. Haven't eaten for weeks. We're lucky. Think that you're starving. You don't know starving. You don't know you're born.
Starving, Marvin.
And there's you hosting a show from your bloody dressing room. So could be worse.
Come on, let's get in. You want me to get in this cupboard, don't you?
You need some bulbs around that mirror. 3 or 4 white bulbs down each side of it while you get your frock on.
Can't even get in there.
Ooh.
It's antique, this. Antiques with fairs in. Just got coats and that in. It's quite practical. It was here when we moved in, and I thought, I'm not chucking it out. Landlord.
A couple of old dusty shirts and a pair of flares.
The cap fits. Flares. I'm 40, not 60 like you. Handicap. Remember that? I remember used to be in the sun at the back.
Wherever I lay me at, mate. All right, mate.
Right, let's do it. Let's say thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye. God bless.
Thank you, everybody.
Ciao,
yeah, thank you.
What's that thing that Richard Answer does? The Guardian. What's it called? I was on it once, and I just clicked on it.
Go to our domain, splspro.com, and there's a link on there for everything. Is admin, and you can email him, make an inquiry, get the links from there. It's all there. We've put it all there for you, brother. Simple enough. If not, give me a message, and you'll find it as a pin post. There's a week's free, something free trial. I think it's a week. Don't quote me for for introduction into monetary and finance, and that's on his website as a pin post on the Facebook. So in our trust, that is, and then on the .com domain for others that want to remain private and don't have Facebook. Respect to you.
Boom.
Yeah, man.
Respect to you. Good. Thank you.
Well, easy going. I'll probably see you all lovely lot on Saturday.
Okay,
You see my big lump on Saturday as well.
Lovely. Well, bring some extra sandwiches for us then, won't you?
I'm a good cook as well, mate. I'm a really good cook.
You don't get a bloody your size, mate, without being a good cook, Lord Almighty. 6'7" and about 20 stone.
Eats children. Sorry. Wrong comment. He doesn't.
I do love food. I'm sorry.
It's no mockery, brother. God love you for it. As long as you cook good, natural, and live stuff and whatnot, and eat right, and fair play to you, mate.
Listen, we're going. Stop talking about food, man. Starving here. And come on, you Are you having a laugh? Are you having a babble?
What are we having for supper, wife?
Let's go. I'm ending. 3, 2, 1.
Bonjour.
Come on, let's
Bye.
do it, boys. Yeah, fist bumps. Let's end it.